Got a phone call here, sponsored by Jinx T-shirts. You can get your own by heading over to go.tagjag.com/JINX. This is Chris.
Hey, Chris, my name is Bob. How's it going tonight?
Going well, Bob.
Now, I'm a tech enthusiast just like you, but this question is not tech-related because I want to know, what kind of wine are you drinking? Because I used to work at a liquor store when I was 18 years old, and, ever since then, I've always been, intrigued with all these different types of wines, and I noticed that you're a big wine drinker. What do you have right there in front of you?
I'll tell you, I wasn't a big wine drinker until until last year, right around the time that my ex-wife moved out, and I wanted to try something different. I said, I need to become a connoisseur of sorts. I need to expand my horizons. I've had a lot of technology around me. I really want to know more about something else. And so I started drinking wine, attending wine tastings.
Do you have like a favorite type of wine, like a Pinot Noir,
Here's the thing. I treat wine much like I do technology. I would find it extremely difficult to say that I liked, one over another. For a while, I was really into Syrah. In fact, still one of my favorite standing Syrahs is one from the Coppola vineyards. I found it to be just amazing, very smooth, just spicy enough. And then for a while, I kind of got into Pinots. And I tend to be more on the red side of things. So you're going to see me drinking a Pinot Noir probably more frequently than you would a Grigio. I also like a Cab. I tend to like them heavier at times. But it's so extremely difficult for me to say what it is, because honestly, I've only in my entire time this past year in drinking wine a glass a night, which apparently is good for your heart, or so I've heard. That's what I keep telling myself. I'll have a glass or two, and it's so hard to kind of really I guess put a finer point on it. What I'm drinking right now actually is out of a box, and box wines have the people have kind of slagged on them, for quite a while. But since I'm living alone and I like wine, I don't want to open a bottle and have it go bad. eMay just recently sent me a link to I guess it would be an air stopper that you basically suck the air out of the bottle and leave it there, and it can stay for a couple of days. Hers works better than mine. But I honestly, I'm fine. Turning Leaf makes it actually a pretty decent Pinot out of a box.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And I've been pretty happy with that. I like sampling. I've only had one bad wine, one wine that I'd never have again. But this is just I think this is Black Box is the name of it, and it's a Cab.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
it's a little sweet for me.
I tell people, when I worked at the store, when they ask, should I get a box wine, should I get a bottle wine, I tell them, listen, you're going to get, different flavors no matter what type of wine you drink. If you prefer something that won't break, say you go on a boat, say you go on a poolside, then go for a box. If by yourself, if you're with friends inside, you go with a bottle. So like you said, it's not really, box wine, bottle wine, say you get like a Franzia, Merlot and a box wine, you get a Franzia Merlot and a bottle wine, it's not going to get the same taste, but again, it's all preference, and sometimes people say, this one tastes different, this one tastes the same, it's crazy what I had to go for 4 years, it's just hilarious. People's, minds react to it.
I never would have imagined myself a wine drinker, and I enjoy wine, I enjoy coffee, I enjoy beer, I enjoy just about any kind of beverage that's supposedly bad for you, although wine, they say, is good for the heart. That's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah.
It's only been really a year that I've been trying. I do not have a refined palate. Someone will ask me, what do you think? I'm like, I think it's good. I think it tastes like wine. I could likely not tell you the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $100 bottle of wine. Although I have had
Exactly.
really good wine and no, like that. No, that was absolutely outstanding. And I definitely, would like, more of it. Of course, it ends up costing you, but very seldom do I get an actual bottle that costs me over 15. Very, very seldom. And if I do, then it's usually recommended by a sommelier or someone who knows a lot more about wine than I do. But I'm just fine with sampling whatever someone gives me. Honestly, there are plenty of vineyards in Washington State that are doing an outstanding job. In fact, just past Tuesday, I watched the movie Bottle Shock, which you can watch on Netflix. Watch instantly. You can get the DVD if you want. But it's all about how Napa Valley came to be in the wine scene, how it all happened, and the players involved. I thought it was really interesting. I guess it didn't get many good reviews from the critics, but it was worth watching, if only for a somewhat historical perspective on how the U.S. Came to be seen as a country that could produce really, really, really good wines, especially in comparison to the wines that were being produced in France. And having visited France and having had wine produced in France, there's, and again, don't have a refined palate, but I would say there's little to no difference between the wines I've had in the States and the wines that I had in France. Little to no difference.
Going back to your point you made with the wines, some of the best wines out there are the ones that cost, $10, $15.
Right.
I totally agree with you. Why spend $50 on a bottle of wine and it turns out to not be so good? Spend some $10, find something new, and you're gonna like it. So.
And some people slag box wines, but I've tried a few of them, and the Turning Leaf Pinot is about the best that I've found right out of the box.
Right.
And of course, as my wine, I guess, tastes have expanded, certainly, I've learned a few tricks. I stick to reds by and large, and the Venturi has been a great wine gadget. And been very, very happy with that. It would basically, you pour it through this funnel of sorts. It instantly breeds it, instantly decants it. Works amazingly well on just about any red. In fact, the younger the red, the better it works. I've also tried the Centellino, although I wasn't as impressed with that. I think we had posted the video at some point. If not, Cat's long overdue to having that posted. It's an Italian hand-blown glass that essentially you pop into the top of the bottle, if it is a bottle, and then you pour it into this little chamber and then pour it out of the chamber. It's a bit more involved than pouring directly through the Venturi funnel.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for all would-be wine geeks, Venturi is my number one recommendation, especially if they don't know much about it. But trying a glass a night is always kind of a fun thing to do. I mean, there's plenty of wines in the world, and I'm finding you don't really have to break the bank to not just amass a collection, but to really enjoy a natural product, especially supporting the Washington area vineyards. I like doing that, but then again, I'm in Washington State, so I have to support the hometown, so to speak.
Of course. Listen, that was great. I like learning about new wines and talking to someone who just jumped on the bandwagon and enjoys the what do you call it, finding new wines, discovering new wines. It's quite exciting.
Yeah.
But